guys, this is Greg from Gillis Cleaning, and I just want to show you why I use the Clever Injector from Mark Cave. I've got mine mounted at the back there. I feel the real advantages over using other systems is that the Clever Injector is a positive injection, where a lot of the other sort of soft wash systems out on the market, you're either having to batch mix, which I originally started up with, which is nothing wrong with that, apart from you having to handle chemicals and mix them. And the other way is you can mix on the negative side of a pump. This method other people use. They use it in stuff like car washes and things like that to dispense soap into a pipeline, but for putting on cars and things of that nature. But the problem with this sort of negative injection is that it's very hit and miss. It really is. You think you're getting a 2%, it's probably more like a 3 or less, and it depends on how full your tanks are. It's a very messy system. It works for some systems, so it depends what you're doing, but when you want to do soft washing, you really want to be accurate in your measurements. So what's great about these Clever Injectors, or a dosatron, as you can see, they come from the fertilizer industry, and they've got to be accurate. And there's a cylinder and a piston that goes up and down there. It measures it completely accurate. So what you do is you grab that pipe there in the bottom of the dosatron, and that goes in your sodium hypochlorite, and I buy it in barrels. I know a lot of other people do. These are 20 litre barrels. So when I open a new one of these, I put some of my well, I use Clever Wash, put some of that in there, give it a shake around, and then I stick that in. So I'm not having to like pour that out into a tank for any reason. I'm literally just putting my surfactant in there and giving it a shake with the lid on, and then putting my hose in. So I mean, that's, you know, between 12 and 14% bleach there. You really don't want to get that on your skin. I mean, it's not the end of the world as long as you wash it off quickly, but less you're dealing with it, less, you know, any problems are going to occur. So you set your mixture ratio on here. This one goes from all the way down from, I think it's 5% to 25. So I think I'd have to look. I think 10's about 1. I can't remember the scale. I've got it written down. Look, basically the time you can go from 0 to 4% mix on your soft wash, which you shouldn't ever need any more than that really if you know what you're doing. So the other main reason this is great is obviously you can mix on the go. So 1 minute you're doing some render, so I want a 2-3%, I can have that, and then I'm going to do some cladding now. Oh, quick, I'll go down on 1%. You know, it's very quick, immediate, accurate, where some of these other systems are not. But this is the only accurate way I know about at the moment to do it. So I've got mine running off some diaphragm pumps. It works great. I've got this reel here is my soft wash reel, and this is my rinse side. This is just a baffle tank that I use now. I used to mix up in there, but now it's just a baffle tank. So when I get to a job, I quickly connect up to a house, and then that starts feeding my baffle tank, and then I turn my pumps on, and off I go. I pull out. I mean, I'm a bit fancy, but when I'm done, I mean, I electrified these reels because they're right at the back of the van. And they wind in. I mean, that didn't cost a lot to do at all. I mean, if you're good at fabrication, you can find all the bits online to do these things. But the other real advantage I went for the Clever Injector was you've got your pumps before the injector. So all the mixing with your sodium hypochlorite is done in that dosatron there. And that's designed for chemicals. It's going to last. Your pumps are not. I don't care what pump you get. It can only handle so much bleach. I mean, even AC Locker was saying, you know, they use quite expensive pumps, and they're changing their pumps, you know, if you're using it all the time, every 6 months. and they can be expensive pumps. So you're never running bleach through your, or sorry, sodium hypochlorite through your pumps, so they're going to last. And there's another reason. I can run a heater also when I'm working in the winter, an inline like an L5 heater, LPG heater. I can put that before the Clever Injector, and I'm going to have hot water. A lot of people in the UK, I don't know anyone else that's doing it, but I've done it. I did it last winter, and it means I can work below you know, 8 degrees or whatever it is. It just means you get the reaction going quick on that render or whatever it is you're cleaning. But that's pretty much my setup. So the other thing I wanted to talk about was some of the chemicals you can buy. I mean, I use Mark Cave's stuff. It's really good stuff. He's reasonable. There's other people out there like is it Softwash Systems from the US. I mean, Darren Smith, he's from Purple Rhino. He's running yeah, they're running that gear, and they've got some really good products there. I mean, these are just some of the chemicals that I carry. I mean, you need a surfactant, you need a soap basically. I think your soap's very good. I have used others, but I like your stuff, and it seems to last me ages. I mean, I've got a quarter left in there, and I've done loads of work with that. I've had that over a year, and you know, his other products, you need some of these other products, you know. I will say, guys, you know, if you're looking to get into soft washing, you really need to understand what this is. You've got to do your research. I spent a lot of time researching, a lot of hours on the internet in the evenings. You know, you need to go and get training. I know Mark Cave's doing training, I know others are doing training, I know, so go and get yourself trained on this stuff, because you can cause a lot of damage on people's properties if you don't know what you're doing. You need to understand how soft wash, what you can use it on, the effects of overspray on different materials, and how to combat this, and you need to use it responsibly. I know in America they spray it over roofs and things like that. I mean, I'm not into that. I think you've got to be very accurate how you're using this, or you could have a lot of problems. But in America they've got a lot more space, so maybe it's an acceptable thing to do there. But here in the UK we're a little bit tighter in our properties, so we need to really consider how we're using soft washing. And I mean, I apply it with poles, I apply it with a lance, I apply it in different ways depending on what I'm doing and the surrounding risks of the property. But guys, get trained, because if you get a bad name for soft washing, you know, it could affect the industry, and you could also foot a big bill. I know people to wreck people's houses, really, so get it right. But yeah, there's money to be made here. But that's my setup, and I hope it's benefited some of you YouTubers looking around, looking to get into this.